Hello, everyone. I'm Shalima, and on behalf of the Catalyst team, I welcome you all to this wonderful global event on mindfulness and wellness. Mindfulness plays an extremely important role in today's busy world as it helps in bettering both our physical and psychological health. Keeping this in mind, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, whose story is extremely inspiring and motivating to all. Raageshwari is an actor, singer, former MTV VJ, and a motivational speaker on the power of wellness and mindfulness. She's currently voted as one amongst the top 50 mental health influencers in India. Her own recovery from facial paralysis at the peak of her career in 2000 was the beginning of her journey into mindfulness. Her miraculous pregnancy is another testament to the power of wellness and mindfulness. Raageshwari has worked with the legendary Jack Canfield and released India's first affirmation CD with the path breaking guru of affirmations, the late Louis Hay. Her videos on meditation and the ancient Tibetan rites have gone viral on YouTube. Rageshwari's diverse work takes her across the globe, from performing at the Nobel Peace Center to working with His Holiness Dalai Lama to working in Pakistan with children rescued from terrorist training camps to working in India for the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation on maternal mortality. Rageshwari is one of the most exciting speakers globally on motivation, wellness, and mindfulness. Rageshwari resides in London currently with her husband Sudhanshu Swaroop and her 4-year-old daughter Samaya Swaroop. It's a great honor for Catalyst to collaborate with Rageshwari and initiate our partnership with this powerful event today. I would now hand over to Rageshwari to talk about the power of now, a world of mindfulness.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shalima, for such a wonderful introduction. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum. A big hello, everybody. Everybody who's tuned in globally, our Catalyst family. Right away, I want you all to sit comfortably, make sure there's water with you, make sure there's a notepad. But of course, you can revisit this Catalyst video. And I want you to just close your eyes. And right away, let's bring in and make space for all the souls we've lost. 2020, 2021. They say 90% of people have been affected by death. We've lost a lot of people. Every family has either lost someone or knows someone who has passed on. So we make space, emotional empathy for all those souls departed. We send them our prayers, our thoughts, our love. There could be so many amongst our audience who are fighting a daily battle, to fight that pain, to heal themselves. So, all our love, we are a big family. The highest frequency is love. So, just take deep breaths in and out, and let's spiritually connect, right? Through this amazing digital space, we can still feel connected. Sending in our prayers and respects, and now thank you. Let's come back with renewed energy. So I like to be spontaneous, and we're going to, of course, talk about mindfulness. Thank you so much for the lovely videos that you all have sent to me. A very interesting question was asked to me just this morning, right? That I have been positive for 4 years, but my dreams don't come true. And I said, wow, I'm going to start with this. So let me take you back to the movie The Secret, right? It had released sometime in the year 2000, early 2000. And what did The Secret talk about? It talked about the law of attraction. It talked about what you consistently think, you attract. So The Secret talked about being grateful. Some people started being grateful. The Secret talked about building a vision board. People started building a vision board. Said you've got to act as if your dreams have come true. So people started acting the way the dreams are coming true, but my dreams are still not coming true. Well, because The Secret and the Law of Attraction missed a very important point, that is mindfulness. Because you see, people were being positive, thinking about their vision boards and being grateful for just perhaps 10 minutes in the beginning of the day, 10 minutes at the end of the day, and if you're lucky, maybe 10 minutes during lunch. Chile, ek ghanta you were absolutely positive. But then what was happening in the rest of the day? 23 hours, because even the sleep gets dominated by your dominating thinking. For the rest of the day, you were thinking about the habitual thinking patterns. So you see, focus goes where energy goes. So what were you focusing on? You're constantly focusing on your past habitual thinking habits, which is fear, feeling ungrateful, perhaps jealousy, perhaps anxiety, or people have so much guilt and shame where the past is concerned, worry about the future. So we're always in that low frequency thinking. And The Secret talks about, hey, stay in the high frequency thinking. What is high frequency thinking? Being loving, being kind, being helpful, being grateful. That you were just probably the first 10 minutes, last 10 minutes, few minutes. So we could never tip the balance. So The Secret and the Law of Attraction missed a very powerful point, which is mindfulness. हमको पूरी जिंदगी बदलनी होगी. हमको, लोग कहते हैं, I've been positive now, when will my dream come true? No, sorry, you've got to change your life. Every breath you take has to be a reminder. Am I thinking high frequency thoughts? And so it's simple. And that's why His Holiness says mindfulness is not rocket science. Close your eyes. Body is so scientific, it'll immediately make you observe your thinking. So it becomes like a gentle alarm. Beep, beep. आप नेगेटिव सोच रहे हैं. Beep, beep, you're thinking about jealousy. Beep, beep, you're thinking about anxiety. Beep, beep. On your vision board, you have, hey, I want a man of my dreams. But throughout the day, you're feeling really uncomfortable looking at your friend who has a perfect man. On your vision board, you have this dream of the perfect job. But all day long, you're saying, मुझे job ही नहीं मिल रही, मुझे job ही नहीं मिल रही. So you see, focus goes where energy goes. And what is your energy? And that's why when you build a practice of mindfulness, you now become that awareness. So some people ask me, what is mindfulness? And the greatest gurus say, living in the present. I've lost the people. We're like, what? Well, I didn't understand. But let's say how I would describe it to children. Now imagine Raageshwari, and then imagine another Raageshwari who's observing this Raageshwari. She's very excited to be with Catalyst. Oh, she's so passionate. Oh, today she's not feeling too well. Today she's really, really feeling good. So it's just basically this awareness behind your thoughts, that awareness. I'm getting annoyed. Oh, I can see my child is irritating me. Oh, goodness, my work life is boring. Oh, I'm so happy. So it's basically, a soft breeze that brings your mind back to the present moment consistently, because we're always thinking either about the past or thinking about the future. And you must note this down very powerfully. The past has got to do with regret or guilt always, and the future has got to do with worry. So, regret, guilt, future, worry, absolutely useless thoughts. They do not help us, they take away motivation. They immediately shut down the motivation centers in your brain. So, that aha moment to have ideas, to forgive, to be evolved, to be loving, we miss the bus. So when we're moving, to the past, to the future, we're obviously disconnected from the present, losing crucial potential, great ideas, and knowledge. So when we have wandering thoughts, that genie, right? All of us have that genie. Law of attraction, Secret talked about that genie, because your mind is just not with you. So the genie is now fulfilling all those goals which you're thinking about, where the future or the past is concerned. So the most common example is, if you've had a heartbreak in the past. So what happens? We judge our current partners negatively. How does that happen? Because we're constantly thinking about that heartbreak. I can't believe that girl did this to me. I can't believe that guy did this to me. I can't believe I only attract partners like this. So when we're replaying that, our mind keeps bringing back those same experiences. And interestingly, the more we think of an experience, in this case, our past heartbreak, it expands. Focus goes where energy goes. So that energy is now expanding. Our brain now gets motivated to show you more heartbreak. So even if the current partner who you meet is wonderful, will appear to have potential to hurt us. Why? Because we're playing the past reel. So that's why mindfulness is cool. You forget about the past and you live every moment today. Let me bring in science, because you are all such intelligent girls, and I hope lots of men are joining us today. When we look at the brain, that's why mindfulness is so scientific. The brain has a reticular activating system. Whatever we consistently think forms energy. The energy then creates a reticular activating system. Let's just say you build lenses. So if I wear red lenses, I will see everything in red. Similarly, our beliefs form lenses as well. So if I'm constantly thinking about heartbreak, men cheating on me, women cheating on me not getting the perfect job, why is life so tough? I start to have lenses that only show me life exactly that way. So even if I get the perfect job, my belief is so strong that I never attract good jobs. I will perform badly at the interview, or I will fall ill and not make it for the interview, or even if the job is offered to me, I will start finding faults, and there'll be self-sabotage. So it's so important to always bring your mind to the current moment. So why is mindfulness so important besides what I've already told you? As a lovely advert at Catalyst says, scientists say we think around 60 to 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And sadly, 80% of these thoughts are negative or repetitive. Why? Because we're either thinking about the past or thinking about the future. Please note this down. Very powerful. It's a powerful message, because science has proven we keep going into the past or the future. The past has got to do with guilt, shame, sadness, anger. The future has got to do with anxiety, worry, restlessness. Will I get the job? Will I get the home? Will I get the perfect partner? Will I have my child? All of those worries. Now, these thoughts are random. They come to us without us even being aware, but the damage is being done. Why is the damage being done? Because each thought has an energy, each thought has a frequency. You think a thought, it instantly creates an impulse to your brain. The brain produces corresponding chemicals, which gives us anxiety, palpitations, lethargy, sadness, or even depression. It's happening scientifically. So our mood gets affected most of the time by our thoughts that do not even matter. Thoughts which are not even real, thoughts which have happened, or thoughts which are just our imagination. That's why when you have a Raageshwari, observing a Raageshwari, mindfulness, observing my thoughts, it becomes a buffer. It becomes a buffer between your random thoughts and the thoughts reaching the brain. Because this observation tells your brain, beep, beep, it's a false alarm. Please don't produce the anxiety hormones and the fear hormones, because Rageshwari is only imagining that she will fail in the interview. Please don't shut down the motivation centers. She's only imagining that she will miss the flight. She's only imagining that whatever, she will not get married or she will not have a job. She's just imagining. So the brain calms down, and you have this window to say, let me think about powerful thoughts. Let me think about high frequency thoughts. So, when we are in a mindful state, we become aware of this continual shift. We learn to observe them without getting emotionally engaged. And in mindfulness, you'll just let those thoughts float away, quietening the mental cacophony. And most importantly, we have a little, almost they say, you have an angel, and then you also have a devil living here, right? The devil constantly says, oh, you're not looking perfect. You're not perfect for the job. I don't think this relationship will work out. So when you're mindful, the devil starts to go to sleep and the angel awakens. As simple as that. And I always like to explain it the way I would explain it to children. because we are all children masquerading as adults. Inside, we are all children, all want approval, all want love, and all want to be embraced, recognized, appreciated. So when we achieve this state, the brain's ability to generate anxiety, apprehension, and stress is reduced in a huge way. So people who've been practicing mindfulness just come across different automatically. Why? Because this magical state results in enhanced productivity. They will not believe in fights because they understand, I think you're having a bad day, so it's okay. They'll have greater generosity because they know, hey, it makes me feel so good when I help you. They'll have a deeply loving personality and they'll believe in cause and effect. You do something for me, I instantly want to give it back to you. So this is the research, the research that Harvard studies have confirmed that mindfulness is so powerful. Now, when I talk about mindfulness, why is it that some people, are positive naturally, and they sort of make a lot of money, have better relationships, are much more easygoing? So, there's a very interesting example that everybody talks about, right? The cockroach effect. That there's a waiter and he is bringing hot soup for various people, but there's a cockroach who jumps at various clients. Now, everybody reacts differently. Some scream and some run away, but then there are few who actually attack the waiter. Well, some don't. Why is that? Everybody has triggers. And those triggers are when you really, really understand how different we all are. And interestingly, it's so connected with our childhood. So always talk about childhood, because if you want to start any practice, if you want to change your life, it's also very important to understand yourself. What are my triggers? What are my patterns? So science is brilliant because it helps professionals take me seriously. But I also want to really honor all our ancient studies, whether it's Hinduism, whether it's our Holy Quran, our Bible. They all talked about the power of the mind. And our great Panchatantra, which was 1200 BCE, it's amazing. Children and their beautiful minds were guarded like divinity. Why is that? They sort of knew that 0 to 7 is the most crucial age in a child's life. Why is that? And that because children are almost in a meditative state during this time, 0 to 7. So today research proves that, right? But our ancient education system knew that then. This means, now hear this very carefully, this means that whatever a child was exposed to during those crucial years becomes like a core belief in your life. So if you were exposed to fights and quarrels at home, and you will understand why this is important, because we're trying to change our entire thinking. So if you were exposed to fights, so go back into your childhood, 0 to 7 years, or just understand, what did I see? Did I see a very beautiful relationship between my parents? Then you will have similar expressions towards life, towards relationships. You will attract people with matching beliefs. But if you were exposed to relationships which were hostile, especially if your mother or your father were abused, you will attract similar patterns, because it's a story, right? You're hardwired. Reticular activating system, core belief, energy, focus. So that has become your lens. Now, if you were exposed to financial insecurities, with parents constantly saying, money does not grow on trees, there's so much lack, money is so difficult for me to make, then you will grow up restricted by glass ceilings. Even if you make lots of money, it just goes away. Even if you have a great job, suddenly you have so many expenses. Everything in life will match that core belief. Similarly, if you were exposed to kindness and love, then you're hardwired to operate from a place of compassion. So, right away, let's get mindful. Close your eyes, everybody, and start thinking, what patterns are you holding? Close your eyes and just visualize yourself when you were 0 to 7. I mean, some people visualize it clearly when they were 2, 3. And for me, it's very clear because I had very hard, difficult patterns in my life, of my father's struggle, my mother's struggle. But beautiful relationship. So, see, I attracted relationships which are harmonious very easily. And it's only at this age I attracted, I mean, I don't weigh career success the way others do. So, even though I had great success as a singer and as an MTV VJ and all of that, that didn't matter to me. What I always searched for was for completion, which I now beautifully enjoy. So, close your eyes and think about the patterns and relax. Slow down your breathing. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, no problem. It'll happen when you're all by yourself. If you find yourself constantly saying, Mere saath to yahi hota hai, I just keep getting these odd women. I just keep getting these odd men. I never get good jobs in my life. If you catch yourself thinking that, that's a pattern. I don't know why life is so and so with me. Again, that's a pattern. So, a pattern is a repetitive experience that keeps coming. Go back to your childhood and you'll say, oh my goodness, there's a match. So, now come back, my dear friends. So, once you start to, this is a very powerful exercise that you must do. So, today we just have this mindfulness talk, but with time, with Catalyst, we're going to have long retreats and seminars. That's when you'll get into changing those patterns. But a very simple mindfulness technique to change the patterns is closing your eyes, taking a picture so you can visualize yourself when you were 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 or 7. And if your parents were constantly arguing about money or talking about relationships not working, change that pattern. That means make them speak another story. So if parents were arguing, now visualize that they were absolutely loving. Change that story in your mind. If you came from a broken home, change that story in your mind, because we become what our story is. Everything was loving, everything was wonderful. This does not have to be my story. So in the same way, if there was financial issues, we say this does not have to be my reality. In my life, money is coming to me in increasing quantities through multiple resources on a continuous basis. And I know you want to instantly get onto that affirmation. So that's why, the Gurukul was amazing, because it really guarded children, because it was less about comparisons. They never bothered about how brilliant you are in maths or how brilliant you are in arts. It was all about celebrating the true genius. Each of you is a genius. Do you believe that? If you don't believe that, there you go. You haven't heard that far too many times. So Gurukul was less about studying and more about discovery and knowledge. And it was less about parental expectations, more about maximizing one's own true potential. So I go to my daughter and she doesn't have to perform for me. She has to do well because it excites her. At all times, they were mindful of this. If children had problems, they would not look outwards. They were guided to look for solutions within themselves through meditation. The rishis knew that once children learn, the art of connecting with their true core, they will fully be equipped to navigate the ups and downs of life, and to get on to a true path of success. What is happening in our life today? Our schools, and why is it important? Because we are a product of that, right? We're hardwired to not see your success as mine, to divide, because we were divided when we were little children. If Rishi is so great in maths, why can't you be so wonderful? If Sneha is so wonderful in sports, why can't you be so brilliant? So we were not taught that we are enough. That's why we have a scarcity mindset. We always think we don't have enough. And then, of course, culture, advertisements, make it worse. So the great rishis laid emphasis on the inner world, the inner voice, the kingdom within. Outside world does not matter. I need to really harness the power within. Now, with that kind of self belief, self awareness, how can negative comments or negative attitudes in the world affect us? Our schools today teach everyone about history, geography, math, science, right? We're teaching children that. But what are the problems we adults face when we grow up? Heartbreak, rejection, when things fall down like a pack of cards, like the pandemic, critical thinking. How can I still reinvent myself? We're never taught that. We are never teaching our children life skills to be brave. So, as we, as grown up children, can relearn this with mindfulness. It's so simple that just a simple practice of closing your eyes on a daily basis and observing your thoughts, because your body is so powerful, as the Holy Gita says, as the Holy Bible says, as the Holy Quran says. It's so powerful. It will find you the perfect answers. Great Swami Vivekanand said, right? Close your eyes and you will find your soulmate and you will find your best friend. What does that mean? You yourself. So, this was just the basis about mindfulness, being that awareness, understanding your patterns. I can see this pattern. And to stop that pattern, I need to change the story. I need to no longer talk about it. I need to replace it with a new affirmation. So let's get on to writing affirmations. I'll help you write affirmations about career, finances, and relationships. But let's look at this video of affirmations. Vinitji, who's a great digital genius who's handling this entire event and bringing it live from London to across the world, will kindly play the affirmation video now. Affirmations. जिस चीज के बारे में हम बार बार सोचते हैं, कोई लफ्ज जिसे हम बार बार कहते हैं, becomes an affirmation, either positive or negative. Now, each word has a frequency, each word has an energy. Hence, we must be very careful about the words we speak and, most importantly, about the words we consistently think. 2 years before my marriage, I was sitting with my doctors who were showing me my test results. Now, these are doctors who I love and they are my friends. And they lovingly told me it's going to be very difficult for me to have a baby. Now, as they kept saying all the things which are wrong with my body and how difficult my path towards conception would be, I mentally kept reducing their volume. And I mentally kept increasing the volume of my inner dialogue, my inner affirmation. And I just kept saying, this is not my reality. Thank you, dear universe. Thank you for my healthy and happy baby. This is not my reality. Thank you, dear universe, for my healthy and happy baby. And of course, I had my baby. What happens with an affirmation is, it's just like a seed that you water daily with your thoughts, with consistency, and it becomes a huge plant and then an oak tree. In the same way, what we consistently keep saying to ourselves becomes a belief. When it becomes a belief, it will become a way of life. When it becomes a way of life, it will become your reality. For example, somebody has just broken your heart, or you've just been divorced. Your inner dialogue could be, I hate this person so much. I never want to fall in love again. Or your positive affirmation could be, it's better to fall in love than not to be in love. Dear universe, thank you for the good times in this relationship, and thank you for teaching me the lessons because of the bad times. Please help heal me so that I can continue the journey of love. Now, this could be a positive affirmation that motivates you and uplifts your spirits. Let's take another situation. You have a project, you've taken it to your boss, and your boss rejects it. Now, your inner dialogue will say, God, I hate my boss. Bhagwan, kisko chun chun ke mera boss bana dete ho? Now, you could have a positive affirmation. Hey, at least I'm grateful I have a job. My boss does not like my projects, but I'm sure it's going to change very soon. Dear universe, guide me towards the path of success. Now, this instantly motivates you. Now, you must be thinking, why is it that some people are naturally positive and some people are naturally critical or fearful? Well, it's got to do with childhood patterns. In the Panchatantra era, women would take affirmations so seriously, thanks to the rishis, that they would ask women to affirm thoughts of perfection, thoughts of positivity, thoughts of motivation, even to the unborn child in the womb. They knew the power of words, the power of thoughts, that they become the template to your life. For example, if you consistently keep telling your child, "You're so lazy," all day you're sitting on the couch and watching TV, what happens is the child actually starts believing that he or she is lazy and will end up becoming lazy, or will grow up to become an adult who is lazy, or who is a workaholic who will never be able to relax because you have planted the seeds of feeling guilty whenever they would just sit down and relax. So that's how affirmations work. They are so powerful and they are magical. Now, let me tell you about the science behind affirmations. Whenever we consistently think about something positive, or when we meditate about something positive, the feeling that we get is supposed to be more powerful than any drug in the world. When we change the way we think, we will start changing the way we speak. And that's when we will be able to change our life. Now, let's talk about the science. Whenever we think about any situation, a neural pathway in the brain is formed. When we think about a negative situation or a negative affirmation, it triggers fear responses in the brain, and that compels us to enact where safety strategies are concerned, like dominance, aggression, submission, feeling scared, or simply running away. But when we think about something positive, like a positive affirmation, the positive neural pathways immediately get activated, and dopamine, which is a pleasure chemical, gets released into our body. And that's when we feel motivated, happy. Why? Because the reward centers in our brain have fired up. That's when children feel happy, energetic, and that's when we adults feel energized, valued, and loved. So now let me share how we can bring affirmations into our lives on a daily basis. First, affirm in the mornings. How you start your day is how you will set your day. So please don't look at the news, don't look at the newspapers, and do not look at your phones first thing in the morning. Your morning time is to enhance your inner dialogue, to enhance your self-belief. So first thing in the morning, I meditate over my affirmations, and it can be as simple as, I am enough. I am successful without rewards and without awards. Love surrounds me. I love and respect myself. I love and respect everyone out there, right? Because there has to be a give and take. You can also affirm about the day that is to come. So for example, if you have a job interview, you can say, I'm open to all opportunities and I maximize my true potential. I perform and peak in my professional potential in my job interview. So it can be as creative as you like. It can be in your words. It can be in your language. You can create your own affirmations to bring in motivation, to uplift your spirits, to reboot your self-worth. Second, affirm in front of the mirror. I cannot tell you how powerful it is to affirm standing in front of the mirror. Do you know why? Because when we look into our own eyes in front of the mirror, we get transported to our childhood. We start saying things that we craved to hear when we were children. So go in front of the mirror and just tell yourself, I love myself just the way I am. I am enough. Love surrounds me. I love and respect myself just the way I love and respect everybody out there. And you will see your emotions really get uplifted. You will feel motivated and energized. And children absolutely love mirror work affirmations. Write beautiful affirmations for them to affirm first thing in the morning. I am brave, I am smart, and I am intelligent, I am a scholar. Mama, Papa love me. I love and respect my Mama, Papa and my teachers. I love my life. I fulfill all my dreams. I love books. I love music and dancing. These are just some affirmations that, little Samaya affirms with me. And I affirm them too because we are children, right? Masquerading as adults. Third, handwrite your affirmation. When we text or type an affirmation, it sends zero impulses to the brain. But when we handwrite an affirmation, it's almost meditative. So you could do this first thing in the morning or last thing in the night. For example, if you're suffering from a health crisis, you could handwrite an affirmation. I'm so grateful. I'm open to my body healing and recovering on a daily basis. Or I'm so grateful, I'm racing towards complete immunity. If you're suffering from a financial issue or looking out for a job, then you could write an affirmation. I'm so grateful because I'm open to new opportunities. A new job that nurtures me mentally, emotionally, creatively, and financially. So I hope that was helpful. The most important aspect that I instantly popped out was please write your affirmations. Because you see, we are so connected with our phones. But for the brain, every alphabet that we press sends the same impulse. And that's why in Ayurveda they say that handwriting every day is a cure for all ailments. So it's so interesting. How many times do we write? And that's why look at children, they handwrite a lot. And I now handwrite. I mean, I have books and books of affirmations that I just write. So let's quickly think about career affirmations. Um, thank you. Thank you. So I would say, thank you, dear universe, for a fulfilling career where my colleagues and I celebrate each other. So you want an affirmation that's complete, right? You just don't want a career which is fantastic, but you come to office, you say, oh my goodness, I have to work with these people. So you want to be happy at all times. So thank you, dear universe, for a fulfilling career where my colleagues and I celebrate each other. My lovely team from Catalyst can actually take all these videos with Vinitji and send it to our entire database. Y'all could please do that. So they have these videos because I'm not telling you anything new. You all are geniuses, like I said. You all know it, but it's all about reminding oneself, wow, I need to do this. So please take these videos and revisit, consistently revisit. Uh, let's talk about finances, right? Everybody's like, finance, money. Always, firstly, mindfully say, it's coming from a scarcity mindset. I actually have enough. I mean, look at me. I have like two or three white shirts, and I do all my events in my white shirts. And because that's important. How much do we want? So I'm not asking you to be 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 this way, because the beauty is, when our ancestors talked about that money does not make you happy, they meant something very deep. So for that, I want you to make your money first. I want you to have all those amazing bags and those penthouses and those clothes, and then suddenly you'll be like, "Hmm, oh my goodness, I'm still not feeling so happy." That's why, right? Some of the richest people are now associated with mental illness. Some of the most beautiful, as in beautiful by advertisement standards, have mental issues because they are missing out the core inner kingdom, inner world. Okay, so finances, please go ahead. Let's make lots of money, please, and then you'll realize, oh my goodness, that's not the answer to my happiness. So one of the most powerful affirmations is, money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple resources on a continuous basis. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple resources on a continuous basis. So you can revisit this video and have that affirmation and write it down. An affirmation for your soulmate or relationships. See, you don't want to have just a loving relationship with your husband or wife. You need to change, right? I said every breath, har saans aapko badalni hogi. So every relationship has to be loving. And that's a beautiful way to even assess when you're meeting a partner, right? You ask people, and when my clients come to me one on one, I say, so what are you looking for? Handsome. She should be beautiful. I want him to have a sense of humor. And so I know, oh my goodness, you've got to really, really understand. Or some people say, I want him to be really, really rich. And that's fine because you don't want to judge anyone. And because of childhood patterns, that somewhere along the line you felt only money will make you happy. So I better have a husband or a wife who has money. Uh, so it's all this scarcity mentality. But actually, what makes you happy? Because otherwise, so many women and men with rich spouses would be happy. No, we need fulfillment on an individual level. So, very powerful affirmation for a soulmate could be, thank you, dear universe, for a harmonious relationship that fulfills me emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, right? Because you want your partner to inspire you and fulfill you in every way. Physically, have a beautiful bond spiritually, should be absolutely one. So then you'll not have arguments. Emotionally, you should have the evolved mindset. He's having a bad day. He needs more love. Mentally, oh my goodness, he or she has a tough day at work or is not doing so well professionally. So I need to support them much more. So you want a fulfilling relationship. Again, thank you, dear universe, for a harmonious relationship that fulfills me emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now, health, very important. Every day, in every way, I become healthier and happier. So simple. Every day, in every way, I'm becoming healthier and happier. And you can say this in front of the mirror. You can paste it everywhere. You can have it on your phone as a screen, but you must handwrite it every day. And handwrite, especially increase the number of handwrites if you know it's a trigger. If you're suffering from bad health, if you're suffering from bad relationships, if that's the pattern, we've already talked about that pattern. And like the video said, the Panchatantra was so amazing, that era. Women would affirm thoughts of perfection to the unborn child in the womb. They knew I need to reprogram their mind with very powerful thoughts of perfection, and that you're a genius and that you're victorious. Okay, so now something tangible. I know everybody has been writing about vision boards and financial boards and personal boards, and we will get into that because I know a whole lot of professionals across the board are with Catalyst. But I want to talk about growth mindset. You see, we have taught people very wrong definitions of success. So if you are a professional, you have been taught, and right at an early child, as an early childhood development is concerned, we were taught very early on that to be the best, I must make you feel smaller. Right? That's how we look at relationships. That's how we even look at success. I want to be more successful. So now we all want to grow up to be number one, which itself is just odd, because our schools have taught us. Now, what standards be number one? We have no clue. We want to study a competition, right? We want to study, oh, this person is good in math, or y'all would want to study, oh, this organization is doing really well. But the studies are not evolved enough because we want to study a competition. Interestingly, research shows that no company has ever been taken down by a company they knew or were researching about. It was always an underdog coming out of nowhere. Like MySpace had no idea about Facebook, right? They were worried about Friendster, as Simon Sinek says beautifully. So it's so interesting. Now, if you want to chase competition, okay, as a professional, because you're all professionals, want to chase competition and want to be number one, then stress and worry and anxiety will never leave you. You have to let go. You'll have to mindfully understand this person's success means nothing for my success. In fact, I must learn to applaud this person and understand, wow, what strategies must she be using? Must he be using? So, mindfully observe when you see a successful man or a successful woman, or a rich man or a rich woman, observe your thoughts. Remember, are they high frequency thoughts or low frequency thoughts? And you can change your mind that, no, I want to be happy. Hey, I want to be happy with someone's success. You see, jealousy is not a negative emotion, it's just a reminder that your dreams yet need to be fulfilled. That's all. So we can change it. So if you want to chase competition, like I say, always be worried about someone's success. Stress and worry will never leave you. But if you want to enjoy the ride, you want to understand the meaning of life, love, and joy, then the competition has to be only you. So my competition is how I was, a month ago or just yesterday. Personal growth, inner mastery, simple living, high thinking. That's a growth mindset. A person who is not mindful will work to be better than others, while a person who is mindful works to be better than himself or herself. You have to take this very, very seriously. A person who is not mindful works to be better than everyone else. तब तो stress और anxiety आपके पास ही रहेगी हमेशा. Always nervous, always upset, always jealous, always anxious, always revengeful. But you want to be mindful, want to enjoy your life, right? इसलिए इतने सारे successful people you see, uh, they have mental issues, they go through so much anxiety, they want more and more. You say, what are they chasing? So Keep that in your mind where a growth mindset is concerned. Never fear making mistakes. We have been taught as children, we were reprimanded, we were punished when we made mistakes, which is wrong. इसीलिए तो इतनी सारी औरतें स्पेशली मैं कहती हूँ क्योंकि वी आर एज वुमेन subliminally programmed, right, to relegate ourselves. We forget about our dreams. We're so worried. अगर 100% कोई बोले आप सक्सेसफुल होंगे, then we'll immediately start the business. Start the business, नहीं नहीं नहीं, I have my child, I have my husband. Oh, business ठीक नहीं चलेगा. Oh my goodness, forget about it. So never fear mistakes. As a woman, you may know about this amazing entrepreneur, Sarah Blakely. And she made a lot of mistakes before she became a billionaire. And she associates it with this wonderful technique that her father would, have this amazing conversation, a mindful technique. He would ask her every weekend, Sarah, tell me what mistakes did you make this week? What did you fail at? He never asked her, what did you succeed at? How many times do we do that as parents, and how many times do we do that as individuals with ourselves? We always say, I can't believe I did this. I'm so stupid. I'm so irritated. I'm so silly, right? We always bring ourselves down. Now imagine tipping the balance. Focus goes where energy goes. Look at your low frequency thoughts. So very important to say, our mistakes are important. तभी तो समझ में आएगा that what is working and what is not. So it's very, very important that we start to make mistakes and celebrate them, because we don't actually make mistakes purposely, right? But they say the greatest mistake a man can ever make is to be afraid of making one, says Albert Hubbard. But words such as failure and mistakes have been defined faultily to us. So don't dread the failures, don't dread the mistakes. Enjoy. That's why the less you see yourself as competing with others, automatically that fear gets diminished. You see, life is such a perfect balance. You work on your jealousy where others are concerned. The moment you bring that down, the moment your self worth will get enhanced. Look at your Instagram posts, look at your Facebook posts. The more you work, इनको inferior दिखाऊं, अपने आप को superior दिखाऊं, being superior or being inferior will not help in life. You have to always believe I'm an equal. So is that person. So is that person. The person who brings me down, up and down in a lift, the person who drives for me, the person who cleans my building, the person who takes my garbage, the person who's a prime minister. At all times, when you think I'm an equal, they are equals, we're all equals, you will not have insecurity. Because you see, the awareness that someone is superior than you has vanished, because that belief has been killed by your mindful thinking that we are all equals. So that's why mindful people walk in and feel great, whether it's a prime minister or whether it's someone who's just cleaning, because in their mind they believe you're all equal. So this was very important for me to share and for you to take seriously. And I know you'll want tangible things. So we will get on to the vision boards and the financial boards and the personal boards. So I have a very interesting video on vision boards because it has to be with pictures. So Viniji, if you can play the vision boards, because I know everyone's waiting for vision boards. Today we're talking about vision boards. I call them dream boards from my book, Building a Happy Family. So what is a dream board? Well, it's just a board filled with pictures that you put up to focus on your dreams and desires, to help them occupy your mind space. Now, do you remember when someone is pregnant, our elders would often say, put up a nice picture of a baby by your bedside. Our elders would also say, never put up pictures of war at home or pictures from the Mahabharata. Ghar mein ladai hogi. We used to laugh at all that, isn't it? Now, where feng shui is concerned, or where vastu is concerned, they all give great importance to art and pictures at home. We used to laugh at all that. Today, it's a well-researched science based on neuroscience principles. And that is a dream board. It helps you focus on your desires, on your dreams. Why? Because whatever we consistently see will come true, consciously or unconsciously. Sudhanshu और मेरी जब शादी पक्की हुई, we were finalizing a home. अब मैं मुंबई में थी, ये लंदन में थे, and he would keep emailing me pictures of different homes. I was only concerned about the kitchen. Kitchen कैसी है? Finally, we finalized this beautiful home by God's grace. When I came here, I started to look into all rooms and my kitchen. And when I came into the balcony, I almost collapsed. And I was so emotional because what I saw right in front of my balcony was on my vision board 20 years back. Have a look. The Albert Bridge. And it got me so emotional. But let me tell you, dear friends, this was unconscious. I had put up a picture of the Albert Bridge unconsciously just because I loved it. It looked beautiful. Now, how can we make a vision board work for our dreams and desires consciously? Let me give you another example. So my husband Sudhanshu asked me, really? You can just put up pictures on a dream board and they come true? And I said, almost. It's not about really the dream coming true, but it's almost aligning your path towards that dream. And that is the bigger bonus. So I told him, now you are an international law barrister, human rights barrister. What is the greatest achievement? He started to think. I said, Nobel Peace Prize? He said, Nobel Peace Prize? Oh, come on, don't be silly. I said, why not? If you are given the power to dream, at least dream big. Let's dream big where love, affection, and dreams are concerned. So I made a vision board of Sudhanshu's photograph, the Nobel Peace Prize, and touching 7 billion lives. And he laughed so much. I said, अगर कोई Nobel Peace Prize आपको देगा, तो आप क्या लौटा देंगे? And he said, नहीं. I finally placed that vision board, that dream board, in his study. He would look at it and laugh, not get too attached, but he finally started appreciating it. That why not at least align my work towards this beautiful dream? And guess what happened? Within 3 months, we got a call from the Nobel Peace Center. They knew about the work I had done with children rescued from terrorist training camps. They knew about Sudhanshu's human rights work in Afghanistan, in Syria and Darfur, and they said, we'd love to invite you as special guests. And here we were at the Nobel Peace Center with Malala and with our beloved Kailash Satyarthi ji. I was not stunned, but he was absolutely shocked, and it did not end there. Have a look at the dream board again, and you will see 7 billion people. It was Sudhanshu's dream to do work where climate change is concerned. And guess what? Today, he's the first barrister, the first QC to do the world's first official climate change case. So that's how powerful dream boards are. Now let's have a look at the science behind dream boards. Now the science behind dream boards is very similar to the science behind gratitude. Do you remember the reticular activating system? The amazing filtering system in our brain. Our brain is an unbelievable scholar. It has a network of neurons that has a filtering system. And it works based on what you focus on, what you give your attention to, based on your mental diet. So now when we create a dream board and we put up a picture, we think in pictures, remember. So whenever we see a picture, our brain automatically gets an impulse to create an emotion. When we consistently look at that picture, that emotion keeps getting recharged. Now when that emotion has reached its full maximum potential, this is a serious message to the brain to act on that impulse. As a result, a large group of cells is activated and they work towards reinforcing that outcome in our life. Now, how could that be? Well, our behavior could change. We could get an intuition. We could act differently when calls come to us. We could be open to opportunities. Or every time we look at our dream board, we feel this passion to really go out there and make that dream into a reality. So let's get started, shall we? So for this coming week, I want you to focus on your dreams. Just focus on your dreams. Your top 3 personal goals. So it could be a home that you want, or time with family, or a holiday, or health. Top 3 professional goals. What do you want to focus on? your creativity, the kind of contribution you want to make. What are the projects that you wish to manifest? Top 3, spiritual goals. The charity you wish to partake in, kindness, being affectionate, or just meditation and self-care, etc. And your top 3, financial goals. I don't think I need to tell you about. People are very clear about their financial goals. Coinciding with all these paradigms, I want you to write down top 3 gratitude notes. So, what are the top 3 things that you're grateful for personally? Top 3 things that you're grateful for professionally. Top 3 things that you're grateful for spiritually. And top 3 things that you're grateful for financially. So I hope you all got a glimpse as to how magical dream boards can be. I did that for my daughter. I do that at all times, even when I was writing a book. So thank you. Thank you for all the lovely comments. I want to value our time because I also want to have ample time for Q&As. So shall we have a financial boards video? So even where the previous video was concerned, where I want you to write about your personal goals, your professional goals, your health goals, it's all about putting up pictures. So we'll have a video, to showcase that as well. But because everyone is so concerned about financial goals, have a look at this video, make your points, write down, but also Catalyst would be sending this video across to everybody who's joined us for this live show. Let's have a look. Before I teach you how to make a financial dream board, let's tweak our mindset mindfully. Now, have you ever noticed we are all in a scarcity mindset? No matter how much we have, हमें लगता है हमारे पास नहीं है. We have so many wonderful dresses, but we don't have that dress. We have so many wonderful bags, but we don't have that bag. We have so many wonderful cars, but we don't have that car. So you see, we're always chasing happiness, almost like a moving target. Now, have you noticed where our parents were concerned or our grandparents were concerned? शायद उनके पास टीवी भी नहीं था, they were still happy. शायद उनके पास phones भी नहीं था. At least my parents, we grew up in a home where we had no phone, no TV, no cars, no refrigerator, and we were still so happy. So why is it that the current generation, people like you and me, are constantly feeling we don't have enough? And the reason is culture. With that I mean advertisements. Advertisements very intelligently, subliminally program you on a consistent basis that you are not enough. You need to have that car to impress that girl. You need to have this bag to impress this guy, or this dress to come across as confident. You need to have this lipstick shade. You need to have this home to command respect in society. You need to have this bank balance to come across as someone who's successful. And actually, that's not the truth. Because if you look at all the people with all the money, all the amazing clothes, all the amazing bags are still feeling empty within. So good thing to do would be to revisit my episode of gratitude where Mindful Monday is concerned and build your financial vision board from a place of gratitude that, hey, I do have a lot. Now wouldn't it be nice if I have extra money to share with my family? Now wouldn't it be nice if I have extra money to share with my employees? Wouldn't it be nice if I can expand my business and so on? So you see, the vision to get more finances in your life becomes a balanced vision rather than chasing a moving target. So shall we get started? Let's go. So on your financial dream board, we will first write aspects of what we are grateful for financially. Now, if you are broke and going through a terrible time financially, it will be difficult. But let me help you and change your mindset. I'm so grateful for my eyes that offer me service throughout the day for free. Imagine if our eyes were to give us a bill, we wouldn't be able to afford it. I'm so grateful for my wonderful strong legs that offer me service throughout the day for free. I'm so grateful for the air that I breathe so happily and joyously for free. I'm so happy and so grateful for my wonderful friends like Joy, like Lena, like Farah, like Raju, like Sohail, who actually uplift me and make me feel really positive, and they do it for free. I wouldn't be able to afford them. So you see, money and currency is not just about notes, it's about experiences. And these wonderful experiences are priceless. So think about that. So you build your financial dream board from a place of abundance that, hey, I actually do have enough. And now let's get started. So first take a check, put your name on it, put an amount that is achievable, believable, and that you truly desire, and sign by the universe. Because you're open to all avenues of positive work. Now, I had created this check in 2012 and it did come true. And then I wrote, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I always keep it to remind me that that's the power of visualization. This amazing technique was taught to me by my guru, Jack Canfield. And he told me this very interesting story about Jim Carrey, one of the greatest comedians. In 1990s, he was totally out of work. And directors would tell Jim Carrey, you can't be an actor, you're really a bad comedian. Can you believe it? Because Jim Carrey is the best. Now, Jim Carrey was so disturbed and so broke, he created a check, just on a whim. He just signed himself a check, $10 million, but he post-dated it. So he gave himself 5 years. So in 1990, when he signed the check, he wrote the date as 1995. I will make $10 million. Remember in the previous episode I've talked about, it's so important to give yourself a deadline. Every day, he would open up the check, look at it, and imagine that he's made that money and he's doing brilliant work. So it was less about the money, but more about getting that amazing work, filling yourself with that passion. And yes, in 5 years, it did come true. In 1995, Jim Carrey signed Dumb and Dumber, and he made more than $10 million. Bravo! Even where Jack Canfield is concerned, when he wanted a wonderful deal for Chicken Soup for the Soul, he actually signed himself a check and he said, this is the amount I'm looking for where royalties are concerned. And he pasted it onto the ceiling. So every morning when he would wake up, he would have a look at this check. So that's an amazing technique as well. So you could choose to do that or simply paste this check onto your vision board. And you could write a beautiful affirmation below that. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple resources on a continuous basis. That means that you're open to all positive avenues of work, which will fill your life with financial freedom. Don't forget to put the globe in your financial dream board, right? Because it enlarges your vision, your perspective, and reminds you that this world is an abundant world. Now you could also put up a picture of your bank statement. Give yourself a deadline, perhaps 2 years from now or 3 years from now. So say January 2022. What is your bank statement looking like? What are your savings looking like? You could also put up a picture of an amount that you're looking for on a monthly basis. Hey, this is what I'd like to make on a monthly basis, say by next year. So put that picture, it brings focus towards the number and brings passion back into your life that, hey, let's do something about it. Now let's also put up reminders where your projects are concerned. So for example, my current project could be mindfulness tours, an upcoming music album, but right now my focus is all towards my book, Building a Happy Family. So what is your financial vision where the book is concerned? So do that with your projects. It's very important for you to now start thinking about emotions. Why is it that you want to make the money? So you can put down affirmations or wonderful dreams that you want to make this money because you want to share it with your family or for your children's education, or you want to expand your business. You want to pay your employees better. You want to have charitable causes that you can support. Now, why is it important to put down reasons as to why we want to make that money? When we read the reasons on our financial dream board, it brings clarity, it brings focus, builds passion, and builds emotions. And our emotions are the trigger for the law of attraction to work. It cleanses our energy field and especially the path between the cosmos and your pockets. And now the most important reason, donations, charity, and contribution. Now what we thought, hey, this is a spiritual exercise. Our parents and our elders would often say, go to a temple every weekend or go to the mosque or go to the church and offer donations, help the underprivileged. We thought that this is a spiritual exercise or connected with religion, which of course it is, but it's also deeply scientific because the more you give, the more you get, Why is that? Because it keeps the cycle moving. Now, I'm not asking you to give away money before you get it, but I'm asking you to make a pact, a commitment right there on your financial dream board. No matter how much money I get, I commit to giving away 3% to someone who truly needs it. And now let's start loving people who make money. Don't be envious of anyone who makes money, because if you hate people who make money, you will constantly remain in lack. Making money is a spiritual exercise. It doesn't make you bad. What you do with money makes you good or bad. So have wise choices. Make a pact to really expand your abundance and share it with others. So I wish you a financially free life, and I wish you a mindful life. Because I truly believe you are braver than you believe, stronger than you feel, and smarter than you see. So I hope that was really clear, that I don't want you to go ahead and donate money before you make it. But it's scientific that the more you give, the more you get. And you have to keep that cycle. And today, Harvard research proves that, the greatest joy in our body, it's almost like a painkiller as well, a natural painkiller, is kindness. That when you go out there and spread your sunshine, spread your wealth. So I want to do a mindful practice with you all right away. Everybody close their eyes, and it's called the focus your goal mindful technique. You will visualize a huge ball of light right in the center of your eyebrows, right? Visualize a huge ball of light. It can be energy. I want you to create a picture of yourself as if your goal is complete. So, for example, it can be in your dream office, shaking hands, with your boss, receiving that check. You create that picture. Now, visualize that picture for 60 seconds. Stay with that picture. Make it a moving picture. So see it 360 degrees. Move around that picture. Smell that picture. As in, smell the ambience. Are you in an auditorium, in an office? Or you want to be a master chef? Or you want to be an entrepreneur? Smell the ambience. Hear the picture. What is it that you're saying? What is it that your boss is saying? What is it that your followers are saying? Hear the picture. Now taste the picture. If you're getting a check, taste it. Taste the air. Now touch the picture. So touch objects in that picture. And you slowly come back. So this is a very powerful, mindful exercise. Every time you feel that you're not aligned, take a moment and do the focus your goal. It's just a 1 minute technique. You can do it for longer, but it's so driven by actions because you need to awaken all your five senses: what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you hear, what you touch. At all times, I want you to energize your mornings. So, I want to value your time. I want to make sure that we do our Q&As. So we have a personal vision board goal that we'll do if we have time. But right away, I want you to really value your mornings. I want you to energize your mornings. The first thing you do in your morning, so you have a pocket of half an hour, which is crucial as soon as you wake up, because you're almost in a theta state, right? That semi coma, almost meditative state. So the moment you wake up, you must look at your vision board. You must handwrite your affirmations, handwrite your gratitude. As you know, all the affirmations I taught you were all starting with thank you, dear universe. So start your mornings with gratitude. Start your mornings looking at your vision board. Start your morning awakening all your five senses. See something that inspires you, so it can be your vision board. Smell something that you love, so it could be perhaps some flowers by your bedside, or your special favorite tea or coffee, whatever it is, whatever makes you happy. Hear something that inspires you. So always wake up to powerful, loving, enhancing music. Taste something that makes you happy. Touch something that makes you happy. So you've woken up, energizing yourself. Now look at your vision board. Now get into your gratitude. Now understand about your goals. Be mindful, and you can then start the day. So I want you to really, really, be powerful where your goals, where your vision is concerned, but at the same time, make sure that you really, really support your mornings really, really well. So shall we I just want to make sure that we get Sanjukta on, so we can do the Q&As, and if we have time we will go in for the personal vision board. Hi, Sanjukta.
Hi, and that was an amazing session and very, very inspiring, I must say. I was like so busy writing down notes. It was
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. Sanjukta, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we can send them the videos. We also have the personal vision board on hold because there's so much to cover. But I wanted to
Right.
not miss out on the Q&A. So
Yeah,
shall we do the Q&A? And if we have enough time, we'll also do the personal vision board video.
sure. So I'll start with the first question immediately so that we don't waste enough time. Our first question is by Shweta Mathur, and her question is: how do I use mindfulness to manage my work life balance?
Lovely. So what happens is, let's reframe the question that mindfulness will automatically manage your work life balance, because what happens is it's almost scientific and it's not rocket science. So when you start a daily practice of just every morning writing a gratitude journal, or just breathing, for a minute, just focusing on your breath, slowing down your breath, closing your eyes, slowing down your breath. It's not rocket science, as simple as that. Your brain starts to realize the thoughts which are important, which are not, because the buffer has been created. So you have great clarity where your thoughts are concerned, that, oh, this is just imagination. You have better clarity about your to do list. And because now the thoughts which are negative, anxiety based, fear based, do not have that energy, you have more energy, like the affirmations talked about. You filled up your mind now with positive thoughts, with affirmations. So, what happens is you have better energy where your work is concerned. You see, we are in a culture where we say, fast, fast, do it fast, and we think we'll be able to do more. The idea is to do less, but do it with such perfection. But the interesting bit is that when we tell our minds that we're going to do less, we end up doing a lot more. So we need to slow down, and automatically we'll be able to do so much more. So you'll have better clarity, you will have more energy, because you'll come across as a much more kind, much more evolved person. You'll not waste time thinking, my boss spoke badly to me, my colleague spoke badly to me, because you'll just be evolved enough to understand, I think they're having a bad day, or it's a childhood pattern that they were not taught. A loving way is also a very powerful way to communicate. So you'll have very beautiful thoughts that will now take over your communication. So you'll be a joy to work with. When you're a joy to work with, you will enjoy your life as well.
We'll move on to our second question, which is by Gayatri Tambekar. So her question is: there are a lot of young people in the age group of 20 to 25 dealing with a lot of mental health issues like anxiety due to various reasons. How can mindfulness help these people to maybe stay calm and think in the right direction?
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Gayatri. Thank you, Sanjukta. You see, the very powerful reason why we have anxiety and fear is because we are constantly looking at the outside world, coming from a scarcity mindset. We as children were taught to become somebody else, right? We were never ever told you're perfect the way you are. If we were consistently told that, and if we truly believed we are perfect the way we are, then there can't be any anxiety, because the fear and anxiety is, what will the world think? I need to be successful. I need to reach a certain, threshold of my career. This person is gaining so much success, is moving ahead far, far too fast. I'm not, right? Basically, the fear and anxiety is all got to do with how we perceive the outside world. So we need to let go of that. We'll have to mindfully start to believe we have been taught wrong definitions of success. And for that, I'll remind our teenagers and our 20 to 25-year-olds, get into a growth mindset. If you constantly compare your life with others, you will have to befriend stress and worry. But if you befriend a growth mindset, that for me, it's all about being brilliant where my work is concerned. And I've chosen this job because I really enjoy it. You see, I became a mindfulness teacher or a coach by default. For me, right at the beginning, 20 years back, it was all about self mastery, all about improving my own life, about learning tough lessons. Because I got into that, success came naturally. I did not even think of it as seriously. So that's the path I want youngsters to take. Because see, that's why we've had actors, sadly have terrible, ends. We have beautiful looking girls, beautiful by the world's definition, have mental illnesses, from Marilyn Monroe, from actresses in India as well. So you see, we have been taught wrong definitions, and we need the youngsters to say, I'm not going to go by this definition. Corporate corner office makes me successful. Sorry, most of my clients, I would say actually all of my clients that come to me in London are very rich and very successful. Very few, uh, you know fairly happy people come to me who have very simple lives. None of them are my clients because they sort of understand, hey, that I'm pretty okay, I'm doing well, I can handle my stress. It is the very rich, the very successful according to social standards, who are like, I'm not feeling grounded, I don't feel happy, I don't feel fulfilled. So we have to change our definitions if you will want to let go of stress.
Our Thank you. Our next question is by Anuradha Lohar, and her question is how to manage negative affirmations if they are very frequent.
Thank you, Anuradha. You see, we have negative thoughts, could be patterns, could be the energy of our home, the ambience of our home, what we're constantly exposed to. So those are triggers, right? If we've heard our loved ones constantly speak in a particular manner, it becomes a pattern. That's why we've come across some people who just speak positively, but it could also be people who've worked on themselves and changed their life, which you can do with mindfulness. Now, can we take away negative affirmations? We cannot. Can we change our negative thoughts? We cannot. But we can empower them with positive thoughts. So we water. We have two little seeds. One is negative, one is positive. You just keep watering the positive affirmation. So that plant grows. So forget about your negative affirmations. You make your positive affirmations super strong and in the mirror. That's what I like women to do. Women and men, go in front of the mirror, look at yourself and say, so for example, if you think you don't look perfect, it's a perception, it's your perception. Because the moment you believe that I am perfect the way I am, your energy, your alchemy in the body will change. And once that changes, the brain has got the impulse, it will then produce matching hormones, you will vibrate at a higher frequency. So start writing powerful affirmations, paste them everywhere, and rehearse them. Every time you walk by the mirror, you should be saying it, almost like an actor. In every way, in every day, in every way, I keep growing happier and healthier. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I love people, people love me. I respect others, others respect me. And understand what you're saying, and then try your level best to live it. And that's it. Automatically, you will see that the negative affirmations have died down because it's a seed you're not watering anymore. See, the only way to give anything power is through your attention, right? And that's why mindfulness is so powerful, which The Secret and the Law of Attraction missed. Because how can you fight those negative emotions? Only by observing your thoughts. So you'll catch it. Hey, I'm thinking terrible thoughts. Replace them with something positive. In the same way, you want to uplift yourself, feel great, put on music. Have a list of your anchors, that this is how I rescue myself. I pet my dog, I go into the balcony, I have a high powered body language posture, I water my plants, I drink some tea, I start to dance, I start to hear music I love, I call my mom, I call my friend, whatever your anchors are. And positive affirmations.
Thank you. Our next question is by Anju Maske, and her question is: with busy lives, how do we be consistent with using mindfulness and the power of now?
Yes. So mindfulness is so scientific. And that's why I always combine mind power with mindfulness. Because if I just talk about, closing your eyes, dreaming, professionals get bored. They're like, oh my God, we can't do this. It can bend time, it can bend reality. So I am up at 4, everybody who knows me personally knows that I'm up by 4:30, and I handle my home, my job, my daughter single-handedly, and have my loving husband. When you have married to a barrister, they're always away. How? Is because I bend time in my mind. Your mornings, and I talked about morning rituals. Your morning has to be your time for your mindfulness. So, if you have a habit of waking up at 8, please, if you really want change, you will have to start waking up at 7:30. So, at no time I'm taking over the time of your life, you're just adding extra time. And in the morning, you will have to have that time to build the foundation of your day. And then visualize the morning rituals video will be sent to all of you. Can we do that, Sanjukta? Yeah, we can send the morning ritual video to everybody, which talks about visualizing your day. So you wake up, you'll do your meditation practice, your focus on your goals practice, your breathing. Just slow motion, slow down your breathing. And that's all. That's all there is. Dead time. For example, if you're waiting for a job interview, close your eyes and deep breathe. For example, you're waiting for someone's call, close your eyes and breathe. Your mind is your guru. I am no guru, and I'm not here to tell you anything that you already don't know. Your mind is so powerful. Be like, wow, Sanjukta, this is what you need to think about. Oh, automatically you'll have more time. So it is in your hands. I had to fight to make time. And when I started to make time, I realized I could finish things in record time because I had more energy, because my mind was at ease. You see, we waste a lot of energy thinking negative thoughts, thoughts of low frequency. You think thoughts of love, you think thoughts of happiness, you think thoughts of forgiveness, think thoughts of helping someone, they energize you. They make you feel younger, they make you look younger, and they give you more energy.
Our next question is by Ujwala Shinde, and her question is: I'm trying to always stay positive, but sometimes my mind starts getting negative thoughts. So how can I control that?
Oh, don't control that. Observe that. The very fact. Who was the lovely person who wrote that question? Sorry? Ujwala.
Ujwala
Thank you.
Shinde.
Thank you, Chula. The thing is, mindfulness is so easygoing. You see, life is such a journey. You don't want to improve tomorrow because you'll put too much pressure on yourself. It's a journey. You're changing your personality. And that's why I love our Vedas who say that we have many lives, and professionals are like, they get so stressed talking about it. But for me, I really think of it as a beautiful journey. And every day we are moving towards improving ourselves. And that's why mindfulness is zero judgment. So if someone shows up with anger, negative thoughts, I'm not here to judge them and say, this person is not evolved. No. Was I the same 20 years back? Not at all. I was not this kind of a person. So be kind and gentle with yourself. The very fact, Ujwala, that you're even observing that I have negative thoughts, bravo. You're mindful. You're mindful, isn't it? People don't even understand when they have temper. They're becoming blue. They're saying all the bad words. After it's all finished, they were like, oh my God, I said all that. But if you're mindful, you can even observe, okay, and then be gentle. Understand, why is it that I got triggered? Did I drink enough water? Did I have a piece of dark chocolate? Did I not love myself? Did I not appreciate myself enough? Did I not write gratitude notes for myself? So when you just mindfully correct yourself, observe yourself, you will slowly move towards the direction of just positive thoughts. It's not that I'm positive 100% of the time, but I would say 90% of the time, I'm positive even when triggered. And if at all I'm triggered and I show up with something negative, I have the power to correct myself, apologize, if not to that person, to myself. That's okay. But let go. And that's most important. Do not keep the negative thoughts within, because then they manifest as illnesses, then they manifest as further anger. Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is by Shravanti Suresh. And her question is, can mindfulness help kids with ADHD, and any specific suggestions for the same?
Lovely. Absolutely, they can. They can help kids. Firstly, I believe 0 to 7, all kids are naturally mindful. After the age of 7, we corrupt them because children are very mindful, right? And they can be playing with a toy. That's why you come up. Arey, Samaya, Samaya, Samaya. Child is like very, very mindful. So we should never ever get upset when children don't listen to us because they're very focused and mindful. But after the age of 7, we have done the damage. We've done the damage because, we have a tradition, of being brought up in a similar manner. We were very mindful too. Now, where can mindfulness help children with ADHD? Absolutely. Firstly, I don't believe in these tags because we give children these tags. This child is shy, this child has ADHD. Think Justin Timberlake, Michael Phelps, all ADHD. So they are geniuses. For me, a child with ADHD is hyper, is energetic, needs a lot more activity. There you go. So that's why they need to be given activity which is movement driven. So mindfulness can be movement driven as well. Yogic postures, doing 10 Surya Namaskars is a mindful practice. Anything that's repetitive becomes mindful. So you can do pottery, you can do swimming, very very therapeutic. So these kind of activities, you don't have to ask them to just sit and breathe with the eyes closed. You can have different strategies where mindfulness is concerned. So that's why, with India Today, we have Mindful Mondays, my show. We also have a parenting series coming out with them. So don't use the tag for your child. The child is a genius. For example, a shy child, people say, oh my God, my child is shy. And I say, think Rajkumar Hirani, Oprah Winfrey, Steven Spielberg, Amish Tripathi, these were all shy children. So shy children are like, they'll rather be in a library than be in a stadium. They'd rather say a soft hello rather than a loud hi. So they're basically geniuses. They want us to evolve our conversation further. So let go of tags where your children are concerned.
Our next question is by Bishnu, and her question is, what can I do when I sometimes feel like I can't achieve my dreams?
Well, I would say that, you know, when I talked about the vision board, there are so many dreams. There are so many dreams that all of us have. And the law of attraction says everything can come true, and everything can come true. But mindfulness tells you that it's such a journey to really evolve yourself. So, for example, when my husband and I put up the dream of him winning the Nobel Peace Prize, the dream is not to win the Nobel Peace Prize. The dream is to do the work that takes you towards the Nobel Peace Prize. So you see, if I put up the picture of a Grammy, it's not about just winning the Grammy. That's not my dream. The dream is, if it comes to me, great, but it's about doing music where I would deserve a Grammy. In the same way, to be a speaker, for me, it's not about winning the award to be the best speaker where mindfulness is concerned, but to really empower people, to really make sure that I'm making everyone feel, wow, I feel great about my life. Hearing a, wow, I feel great that there's no other person controlling my life. So your goal is actually coming true if you look at it differently. So, for example, if you want to be a great author, the au- the superficial goal is to be a great author, but the real motive behind being an author is what? Entertaining people, telling great stories, inspiring other people, whatever your vocation is, or the genre is where the book is concerned. That goal is up to you. You can do that through Instagram, you can do that through Facebook. Like someone wants to be a filmmaker, right? There's a director and he wants to be a filmmaker, and I say, well, you can do so many classes where Instagram is concerned, where Facebook is concerned, and still make movies on your phone. So you see, we can tweak our dreams the way we like. The thing is that we get very stuck with our vision that this is what we want, where the universe is constantly giving you so many more avenues. So that's why mindfulness is very powerful, where you just let go and you say, this is what I desire to do. For example, being, a great designer. You want to be a great designer, and you have, say, Bhanu Athaya, or whoever your favorite designer is in that realm. This is what I want to be. Your creation is still with you. You can still empower people, you can still be creative and enjoy that journey. The problem comes is when we start comparing ourselves with other thresholds, and that creates anxiety, fear, and feeling like, oh my goodness, my dream is not coming true. Every day you are moving towards your dream. Absolutely, you are, because it's in your hands. It's growth, right? On a consistent basis. So I get a lot of people who call me and say, can we increase your Instagram followers? And I said, not at all. That is not my goal. My goal is to reach out to everybody. You don't have to follow me for that. My goal is to make sure that I reach out to people and I give out messages which are strong. So I know in whatever platform you're working, you are doing a wonderful job. I know for sure.
Our next question is by Steffi Thomas, and her question is: one of the basic principles of mindfulness is acceptance. How does one follow this principle in every situation?
Yeah, so it happens so naturally and scientifically. But one of the greatest examples I gave you all initially in the talk was all about Panchatantra, that we are a product of our upbringing, 0 to 7 years. If we could just understand that all of us are actually perfect, right? Because none of us were given the perfect childhood, lots of love, lots of encouragement. You see, the ones who are not given that turn to be offensive, defensive, dominating, right? As we explained, where emotions are concerned. When we are constantly having guilt and shame, if we've had a childhood of guilt and shame, we will grow up to be people with a temper. Because they're constantly wanting to dominate. They have the fear of insecurity. The person who's secure, who's had a lot of love in his life, only knows how to communicate in that particular manner. So, when you practice mindfulness, naturally, mindfulness is all about oneness. It becomes almost as if clockwork precision. You'll start to have thoughts that I'm just one with Sanjukta, I'm just one with Steffi. And if at all they seem to be different than I am, I'll have the evolved mindset naturally. I think maybe they've had a bad day. I wonder what their childhood was like. And that's why one of the greatest mindfulness gurus for me is Gandhiji, because he had a fantastic quote that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. If you could just observe that beautiful quote. Every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. There you go. It tells you so clearly, that everybody is moving towards the light. We're all work in progress. We are all work in progress. So automatically, we must accept people the way they are, the way they are. And that's good for our liberation, our thinking, clear thinking. So then we have more energy to fulfill our goals.
Our next question is from Lakshmi, And her question is, ma'am, how to overcome the past? I'm trying my best, but I'm still not getting any updates.
I'm not getting any updates. How do you overcome the past? So I would love to know, as in, has it got to do with a financial crisis or a personal crisis? Can we get to know so I can have a very definite answer for you? If it's a personal issue from the past or a professional issue. So while we wait for that, let me just anyways talk about, where the past is concerned. Uh, when it's heartbreak, it's so difficult for us to move on. Well, also because culture has taught us that, oh, you complete me. Okay, ma'am, both. Thank you, Lakshmi. So whether where relationships are concerned, culture has taught us, right, our films and everything, you complete me. And also society puts this pressure that every relationship has to be a success, while I believe you should not marry people you fall in love with. You should marry people who you want to grow with. So relationships are all about growth. And Lakshmi, whether it's with the great Gautam Buddha, he said you have to befriend suffering. Why is that? Not because suffering like that, but only through suffering we learn. We can't learn the lessons otherwise. And it's only through professional upheavals also we learn great lessons. So at every time, it's about a mindful approach. I learned great lessons there. I learned great lessons. And time, as they say, heals everything is only because you learn to live with it. But the most beneficial aspect about mindfulness is go back to what I talked about, the childhood. And so whether it was a man who hurt you, whether it was a professional colleague that hurt you, perhaps they had scarcity mindsets where they felt they needed much more, and they will learn their lessons too. Perhaps it was a man who never enjoyed great relationships at home, was not exposed to that. And when they talk about extramarital affairs, it's so interesting to talk what the Panchatantra, our Vedas said. It's so interesting that extramarital affairs actually start in the childhood. It's so much got to do with the perception, what loyalty or formality in a relationship, or what are the definitions of togetherness. So the simple strategies are: stop talking about the past. So we gather our friends and we constantly talk about it. He was wrong, I was right. We're going to stop that. We're going to mindfully write about all the positive things that were in the relationship. You'll almost forget right now, why there was nothing positive. No, why? What were the reasons you went into that relationship? What have you learned? And one of the greatest but very difficult advice is you bless that person, because the alchemy of the body changes. So when you bless, for example, it was a guy named Raghav who probably taught you tough lessons personally and professionally. You're just going to say, I bless Raghav. I bless Raghav. It's very tough. The first 7 days, your body will revolve to go in front of the mirror and say, like, what are you talking about? I don't believe this. But it's so interesting, just like watering the positive seed. You water the seed that bless them, and automatically the anxiety and the feeling of betrayal and the feeling of revenge and the feeling that he, upset me, hurt me, betrayed me, starts to subside. And then automatically now you're ready for a positive life. So at all times, do that. Stop complete conversation where that reality is concerned, because we want to change the narrative and we want to have positive affirmation. So hope these strategies help, Lakshmi.
Thank you so much. That was our last question. I would now like to call upon Purvi Shah, the CEO of Catalyst, to share the vote of thanks.
Hi, Purvi.
Hi, I am totally dumbfounded. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, Raageshwari, for this most powerful session that I have ever attended. I mean, I was thinking about it. There were things I could relate to and things I have like, oh wow, I kind of know this, but I don't practice it. And I think you have made me so much more mindful. And I'm sure there'll be people who are going to walk away with this mindfulness, because in our day-to-day life, we forget our doing basic things, like things being grateful for, and things we are happy about. And I feel that sometimes we ourselves are hypocritical. We want to do things, we want to say things, but then we only stop ourselves. So I feel what you have said is going to make us more mindful. It's so important, and especially in current times it's so relevant. And we have to be grateful about everything that we have, and not just think about what went wrong and why this big pandemic has happened, and what that every so many things going wrong, but rather think about the positive things. And I completely agree with that self-fulfilling prophecy. In fact, 15 years ago, when I had attended a session and somebody told about it, I started believing in it, and I used to talk about it. But again, like I said, then sometimes your belief starts fading, or sometimes you lose. And when you narrated the examples, I'm saying, wow, bingo, actually, it does happen. And one should, stay on that path to make it happen. And it's wonderful. And about your dream board and vision board and the affirmations about writing down, it's interesting because a few years ago, with the phones coming in and digital notes, I started taking notes. It's so much easier. And then I moved back to handwriting, and it also helps reinforce and remember things better as you age, especially as you age. And I think I'm going to do this. I love this, writing affirmations, especially writing daily notes. Work notes is one thing, but affirmations, and I think it is so wonderful. I think it's like magical. Thank you so much again, Raageshwari, for this. I would like to thank Vineet ji also for the
Yeah.
tech platform and this wonderful. It's the clarity and visual is just fantastic. Thank you, Vineet ji, for all your efforts on this. I would like to thank our founders, especially Mr. Suneet Mehra, for introducing us to you. And because of that, we've had this wonderful session, and we hope to stay engaged with you for many more, interactions and events. And I would like to thank both the teams for making this event successful, and for the audience for being so interactive.
Yes. Thank you. So many wonderful messages. Thank you. You
Yeah.
said a very important point, which is that, our culture, advertisements, and life will suck us back into. And if we have patterns of scarcity, money, bad relations, bad friendships, then that pattern will fight to stay in your life. If you have a pattern of bad health, you start to work out and you suddenly see, oh my God, I've got a sprain. Oh no, my gym is shut. Because that pattern will fight to stay in your life. So always remember the initial journey. And that's why I would want Catalyst to build. Thank you for the wonderful messages, everybody. Thank you. But I want to just complete what I'm saying is that's why it's very important for Catalyst to build this community, this mindfulness community, where we support one another. Are you being positive? Put notes, have these amazing milestones that you reach. Because you see, we become 80% exactly like the people we spend 80% of the time with. So we should be new friends. Hey, are you fulfilling your goals? Have you made your vision board? Please send out the personal vision board video to everybody, the morning ritual video to everybody.
Sure.
So people are constantly engaged in self mastery. And that's it, then nothing can really affect you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to do this with the team also, so that we can, kind of support and encourage one another in this exercise. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you for these lovely questions, audience, and being so engaged. Once again, Raageshwari, it was a wonderful session.
Thank
And
you so much.
always remember. And we'll share it with the wider audience. We want more
Yeah.
people to benefit out of this.
Great. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you, Rageshwari. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Much love to everybody. Much
Thank
love.
you.